Urologist, 7 masturbation mistakes after 60 that are silently harming older men. Advice for elderly. A truth that could change everything. Picture yourself in your late 60s, settled in your favorite armchair, reflecting on a life full of triumphs. But there's one thing you keep quiet, those private moments you've always thought were harmless, even healthy. What if the way you've been doing it is silently draining your energy, your confidence, your very spark? I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, a urologist with over 30 years helping men over 60 stay strong and vibrant. I've heard countless whispers in my office, "Doc, something's off." It's not illness or meds. It's how you're masturbating. No one talks about this, but I'm here to change that. Today, I'll reveal 7 silent mistakes that could be harming your heart, prostate, and joy, and how to fix them. You can reclaim your vitality. Join our YouTube community for weekly tips to live better. Hit subscribe and the bell now. Type 1 in the comments if this speaks to you, or 0 if it doesn't. Let's dive into the first mistake, one that's quietly rewiring your brain. Mistake number 1, relying on porn as your primary stimulus. What if the screen you're watching is stealing the spark from your soul? Picture a man named John, 68 years old, retired firefighter, tough as nails but soft-spoken. He came to me last year, his voice barely above a whisper. "Doc, I don't feel much anymore. It's like my body's gone numb." John wasn't sick, but he was struggling. When I asked about his habits, his eyes dropped. "I watch stuff online," he admitted. "It's just easier." What John didn't know was that the endless stream of high-intensity adult content was flooding his brain with more stimulation than it could handle, and it was changing him. Your brain, especially after 60, isn't the same as it was in your 20s. The dopamine system, the one that lights up when you feel pleasure or motivation, starts to slow down. It's like an old radio. It still works, but the signal's weaker. When you bombard it with the hypercharged visuals of modern pornography, it's like cranking the volume to 11 on a speaker that can't handle it. Your brain gets overwhelmed, and to cope, it numbs itself. Over time, real intimacy, whether with a partner or just your own body, feels dull. Touch doesn't spark the same fire. Connection fades. And worst of all, you might think it's just aging, but it's not. It's overstimulation. The science behind it. Research backs this up. A 2016 study in Psychology of Addictive Behaviors found that excessive pornography use can desensitize the brain's reward system, leading to reduced sensitivity to natural pleasure. For older men, whose dopamine pathways are already less responsive, this can feel like a slow fade into numbness. I've seen in my practice, men who rely on porn often report weaker erections, less satisfaction, and even a sense of emotional disconnection. They don't realize their brain is rewiring itself to need more and more stimulation just to feel something. John's story, a wake-up call. John's case wasn't unique. He'd been watching porn almost daily for years, thinking it was a harmless escape. But it was costing him. His wife noticed he was less affectionate. He felt less desire, less joy. He thought it was just getting old. But when we worked together to cut back on porn and focus on mindful touch, reconnecting with his own body without a screen, he started to feel again. Within months, he told me, "Doc, it's like I'm waking up from a fog." His sensitivity returned. His connection with his wife deepened. He felt alive again. How to fix it? Here's the fix. Reset your brain's reward system. Start by cutting back on porn. Aim for a 30-day break to let your dopamine pathways recalibrate. Focus on sensation instead. The warmth of your skin, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet spark of your own imagination. Try guided mindfulness exercises or even journaling about what pleasure means to you. It's not about shame. It's about rediscovering what your body can do when you give it a chance to feel real. Pro tip: replace screen time with sensory experiences. Take a warm bath, listen to music that moves you, or even try a new hobby like painting or gardening. These small acts rebuild your brain's ability to find joy in the everyday. Question for you: have you noticed a drop in how much you feel during intimate moments? What's one thing you could try today to reconnect with your senses? Mistake number 2, masturbating while sitting on the toilet. Could your private escape be putting your prostate in a chokehold? Let me tell you about Frank, a 70-year-old Vietnam vet with a laugh that could fill a room. Frank came to me complaining of groin pain and trouble urinating. "Doc, I'm falling apart," he joked, but his eyes told a different story. When we dug deeper, he admitted something surprising. For years, he'd been masturbating in the bathroom, sitting on the toilet. It was his safe space, where no one would interrupt. But what seemed convenient was silently wreaking havoc on his body. When you sit on a toilet, especially in that hunched-over position, you're not just relaxing, you're compressing your pelvic region. Your prostate, your bladder, your blood vessels, they're all under pressure. For older men, whose circulation and nerve health are already more fragile, this is a recipe for trouble. Over time, this habit can lead to swelling, dribbling after urination, or even chronic pelvic pain. I've seen it in countless patients. Men in their 60s and 70s who never connected their bathroom routine to their symptoms. Why it matters? Your pelvic region is like the engine room of your body. Blood flow here keeps your prostate healthy, your erection strong, and your bladder functioning. But sitting for long periods, especially in a cramped position, restricts that flow. A 2018 study in the Journal of Urology linked prolonged sitting with increased prostate inflammation in older men. Add the strain of masturbation in that position, and you're essentially squeezing the life out of your pelvic health. Frank's turnaround. Frank was skeptical when I suggested changing his habits. "Doc, you're telling me where I can't sit?" he laughed. But he trusted me enough to try. I recommended he switch to a reclining position or even standing during his private moments. Within weeks, his groin pain eased. His urination improved. He even noticed stronger erections. "I didn't know my body was begging for a break," he told me later, grinning. How to fix it? The solution is simple but powerful. Change your environment. Avoid masturbating in positions that compress your pelvis. Try lying on a bed, standing, or even sitting in a chair with good posture. Give your body space to breathe, literally. This small shift can improve blood flow, reduce prostate strain, and even boost your energy after climax. Pro tip: incorporate gentle stretches before or after to keep your pelvic area loose. A simple hip opener, like a seated butterfly stretch, can work wonders. Question for you: where do you usually go for your private moments? Could a small change in location make a big difference for your body? Mistake number 3: rushing through the experience. Are you racing through pleasure and missing the real reward? Meet Tom, a 66-year-old retired teacher who always prided himself on efficiency. Get in, get out, move on, he'd say about most things in life, including masturbation. But when he came to me, frustrated that he felt empty after the act, I knew we had to talk about pace. Tom was treating self-pleasure like a chore, rushing through it like he was checking off a to-do list. And it was costing him more than he realized. After 60, your body doesn't thrive on speed. Rushing through masturbation spikes your heart rate, constricts blood vessels, and short-circuits the hormonal benefits that make intimacy feel good. You might climax, but you miss out on the flood of oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, the chemicals that leave you feeling satisfied, calm, and connected. Over time, this habit trains your body to expect shallow, fleeting pleasure, leaving you drained instead of energized. The emotional toll. Rushing isn't just physical, it's emotional. I've had patients tell me they feel hollow or disconnected after rushing through self-pleasure. It's like eating a meal so fast you don't taste it. You're full, but you're not satisfied. For older men who may already feel isolated or out of touch with their younger selves, this can deepen a sense of loneliness. Pleasure should be a gift, not a race. Tom's transformation. I challenged Tom to slow down. Take 10 minutes, I said. Breathe. Feel every sensation. At first, he thought it was silly, but after a few weeks, he came back beaming. Doc, I didn't know it could feel like that again. By slowing down, he reconnected with his body. His energy improved. His mood lifted. He even started flirting with his wife again, something he hadn't done in years. How to fix it? Slow down and savor. Treat self-pleasure like a fine wine, not a shot of whiskey. Set aside time, 10, 15 minutes, where you won't be interrupted. Focus on your breath. Notice the warmth, the rhythm, the quiet build of sensation. Let go of the need to finish and embrace the journey. Your body will reward you with deeper satisfaction and a renewed sense of vitality. Pro tip: try a mindfulness trick. Count your breaths as you go, aiming for slow, deep inhales and exhales. It anchors you in the moment and amplifies the experience. Question for you: when was the last time you let yourself really feel a moment of pleasure? What's stopping you from slowing down? Mistake number 4: ignoring your pelvic floor. What if the secret to stronger erections and better bladder control is a muscle you've never heard of? I'll never forget Mike, a 69-year-old former construction worker with a handshake like a vice grip. Mike came to me complaining about weak erections and occasional dribbling after urination. "I'm strong as an ox, doc," he said. "Why is this happening?" The answer lay in a part of his body he'd never thought about: his pelvic floor. This hidden group of muscles is the unsung hero of your sexual health, bladder control, and even your confidence. And most men over 60 are neglecting it without even knowing. Your pelvic floor is like the foundation of a house. It supports your bladder, your prostate, your sexual organs. When it's strong, it powers everything from firm erections to a steady stream when you pee. But when it's weak, often from years of sitting, stress, or poor habits, everything starts to crumble. Weak pelvic floor muscles can lead to leaking, reduced sensation, and even pain during arousal. The science and stories. A 2020 study in urology found that pelvic floor weakness is common in men over 60 and directly linked to erectile dysfunction and urinary issues. I've seen it in my practice: men who bear down or push during masturbation, thinking it intensifies the experience, are actually straining these muscles. Over time, this leads to a cascade of problems, from weaker orgasms to chronic pelvic discomfort. Mike's case was textbook. Years of heavy lifting and long hours sitting had left his pelvic floor dormant. But with a few simple exercises, he turned it around. "Doc, I feel like I'm 50 again," he told me 6 months later, his grin wide enough to light up the room. How to fix it? Strengthen your pelvic floor. Start with Kegel exercises. Tighten the muscles you'd use to stop urinating midstream. Hold for 5 seconds, then release. Do 10 reps, 3 times a day. During masturbation, engage these muscles gently. Don't push or strain. Over time, you'll notice stronger erections, better control, and even more intense sensations. Pro tip: pair Kegels with deep breathing to maximize blood flow. Inhale as you tighten, exhale as you release. It's like a workout for your manhood. Question for you: have you ever tried a Kegel exercise? Why not give it a try today and see how it feels? Mistake number 5: frequency that's too high or too low. Is your private rhythm keeping you vibrant or draining your spark? Let's talk about Sam, a 71-year-old widower who thought he was past all that. When he came to me, he was exhausted, irritable, and struggling with low libido. "I don't even bother anymore," he said. But when we explored his habits, I learned he'd stopped masturbating entirely, thinking it was pointless at his age. On the flip side, I've had patients like Robert, a 65-year-old accountant who admitted to masturbating daily out of boredom. Both extremes were hurting them in different ways. Too much frequency can overtax your body. It irritates your prostate, depletes your energy, and dulls your nervous system. Too little, and you risk atrophy. Your blood vessels, nerves, and desire start to fade. Sexual arousal, even solo, is like exercise for your pelvic health. It keeps blood flowing, nourishes nerves, and maintains erectile strength. Finding the right balance is key. The research. A 2019 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that moderate sexual activity, 1 to 2 times per week, in older men is linked to better prostate health and lower rates of erectile dysfunction. Too much or too little, and the benefits drop off. In my practice, I've seen men who overdo it report fatigue and reduce sensitivity, while those who abstain often lose confidence and connection. Sam and Robert's journeys. Sam started small, reintroducing masturbation once a week with mindfulness and care. Within months, his energy returned, and he even started dating again. Robert, on the other hand, cut back to twice a week, focusing on quality over quantity. I feel like I'm in control again, he told me, his voice full of pride. How to fix it? Find your sweet spot. For most men over 60, 1 to 2 times per week is ideal, enough to keep your system active without exhaustion.